not giving a shit about anybody else's opinion is the secret sauce, right? Like, if you really ask me to deconstruct why I think I'm gonna win, I'm empathetic about other people's opinions. I respect other people's opinions, and I really do. I'm a listener for all my talking. At the end of the day, I just don't think it's practical to live my life by somebody else's North Star. What's up, vlog? Super excited now for this talk here in Gothenburg, Sweden. One of the great things about traveling the world is maybe going to that city or two or three that isn't Stockholm or in Germany, Berlin, going to second, third, fourth cities, kind of no different than when people come to the US and do go to a Chicago or a San Francisco or a Boston or a Miami, and so I love that part. Great audience, gorgeous setup in there. Hopefully Babin will get some context, and we'll go give it our best at bat.
Gary crushed the keynote as usual, but this question from the Q&A really got me.
I can answer this. You don't have to go any further. This is very classic. You know, and being an immigrant, I understand it deeply. So many of us love our parents very much. Very common in tight-knit families, immigrants, Southeast Asia, Italy, Eastern Europe, a lot of cliche talk, India. Let me tell every young person in here and everybody who's watching why I tell them the very harsh advice of going against their parents in their 20s. If you appease your parents in your 20s to live the life they want you to, you will not have a relationship with your parents in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's just a long game. There's nothing worse than resenting your parents. And so the upfront friction of fighting in your 20s and not becoming a doctor or lawyer, let's get this man a mic. The upfront friction of not becoming a doctor or lawyer or professor in your 20s to make your parents happy because they grew up in a different game at a different time, I think is far more a better play, because regret and resentfulness is super scary and very ugly. And I think it's the worst of the two evils.
Yeah, so basically that's pretty much what I've been doing. So when I was 18, I kind of had this like breakup with
your parents. Yep.
And I really don't want it to be like this specific, but I know a lot of people are going through the same situation. And now I'm 23 years old. Like the first 2 years of like breaking apart from my mother was getting like a normal job,
right,
and then pursuing my dream as a photographer.
Yes.
So I did full time at a daycare center.
Yep.
And then evenings, weekends, I would do photography. And then I was like, after that I was full time. So I've been doing it for 3 years now, but like I have no relationship to my mother.
And so,
like, she, just as the same as Hassan was speaking about.
Yep.
He said, so for Southeast Asian parents,
yep,
it's all about the kids are property.
Brother, I understand. So I was born in the Soviet Russia. Your kids are the byproduct of you and how you look to the other parents. You're a product.
Yeah.
And
he said two things that was like
dead on.
Yeah, and that was like what you want to do and who you love.
Dude, let me ask you a question. Whose fault do you think it is that you and your mother don't have a relationship?
I want to say her, but
me too.
It's her background. Like
I agree. I get it.
So much empathy.
I get it.
For that background, because I'm born here in Sweden.
Yes.
So I'm basically like in between the Swedish culture and the Sri Lankan.
Of course.
So like.
Let's play out guys. Life is about choices. There's no. This is binary. You either did that, and took the risk and the hope that if you were successful because you believed in yourself, to be able to make that leap, you believed, right? And you had no choice. You believed and hoped that you'd be able to backtrack into a relationship after you achieved, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the practical thing. The alternative would be that you would be fundamentally more unhappy right now, and that's with not having a relationship with your mother. Yeah. Theoretically, it sucks on paper. Everybody who loves their mother, I mean, my mother's my idol. Everybody who loves their mother right now and hears you don't have a relationship goes, that sucks. Unless they've lived a life where they lived by their parents' terms and realized the cancer that was running through their head and their heart every day of their lives forever. My man, I would just go on the offense to try to have a relationship with your mother. Suffocate her. I don't mean physically. Like it takes two to tango to have a relationship. You could smother her. You could email her, you could send her videos, you could send her gifts, you could show up at her job. You could.
Yeah. I think you said that like success could be the breakout point. But it's just like, I thought that would be now.
Of course.
Because I'm doing it full time.
Correct.
Like,
when's the last time you talked to her?
Like a year ago.
And what was the conversation?
It was basically her, like she doesn't get what she's doing, that's the thing.
No shit.
So,
and do you have siblings?
Half siblings, but they're not like...
Understood.
I grew up like by myself with my mother, basically.
Understood. I would suffocate her. I'm being serious. Yeah. Do you desperately want the relationship?
Yeah.
So then act like it. Stop fucking pondering in your head and just go fucking attack.
I would like to thank you for sharing this because I think many people perhaps share the same situation.
I know you're doing the right thing because we're 1 minute and 15 seconds over. However, I'm asking for 2 or 3 more minutes on this because this is pretty important shit. Is that cool? Can I get 2 minutes? Is that right? Brother, suffocate her. In the same way, don't be the reverse of who you were at 18. At 18, you made a binary decision, high risk, high reward, that you're gonna go do this. Either you have to ask yourself if you want the relationship. Because you've already shown me that you have the ability to make the tough decision, you did it. You have to ask yourself, and you shouldn't give a fuck about this audience or me or anybody else, or Hassan Minaj, you need to be in your own head. I think it's appropriate to not.
That's the thing, because like...
You want that negativity in your life?
But it's just that...
It's your mom, of course, dude. Of course, brother. And it should, and by the way, that's awesome and it should. Yeah. But if you want it, if you've decided through that one relationship that you want the relationship, act like it. Suffocate her. Just like when she's walking down the street, come out of the alley and be like, boo. Act like it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Take care. We gotta go. You missed a good part. There's audio to it. It happened, the camera's down. The guy asked me about Tesla and I was talking about...
Where would you rank Tesla in your ranking of long-term or short-term?
I don't know that business well enough.
All right.
Now I believe in Elon the most.
Yeah.
But I understand media and retail and what Facebook and Amazon do.
Yeah.
I just don't understand transportation. Now, theoretically, in my binary bet on the jockey, not the horse,
yeah.
Elon every day.
Yeah, well, he's doing it, I think.
I think so. I think so too. Whereas what I was saying up there, I know. You understand?
Yeah.
It's a difference. That's such an interesting blog. That's such an interesting distinction. Like, I talk about what I know. The cryptocurrency, I'm trying to think of other themes. Even machine learning, VR, AR. I have thoughts. I'm in the I think. You guys are in full-time I think. The people that win are in the I know. I know this stuff, content, underpriced attention, this moment, I know. And that's a big fucking fundamental difference between thinking and knowing. And acting on your knowing full and being thoughtful about your thinking and being cautious to learn and to know, that is a big difference between winning and losing. So many people, so many of you are all in on what you think. That's something you have to think about. I'm about to do Jim Rome's podcast. Jim Rome, a legend in the sports announcing, sports commentating industry. I'm really excited about it actually. I've done his radio show, went pretty viral. We've had dinner. I'm just a fan of his vibe. So I'm excited about this. Let's see what happens. Should be some highlights here. Like worked in a store, retail. Every Saturday is the biggest day of the week. Like gave up my social life, my 20s dude alpha DNA, left it on the table, went into my early 30s, now married, and still making 40, 70, 80, 90,000 dollars a year, solid, but building something of that wealth and then leaving at 34 with no money on paper. I can't go buy a better home because I have no equity in anything. By all standards, not worth anything. And then during that whole time of building this big business for my dad, having all my friends and acquaintances and my friends' parents say things like, oh, what's Gary, asking my good friends from high school when they were 26, what's Gary Vaynerchuk up to? Oh, he works at his dad's liquor store. Like, right now, in a world where A-list celebrities are reaching out to me, super smart and cool and historically successful people like you are fascinated by me. Like, it's all easy now. I'm in the shit-eating business, Jim. I'm in the shit-eating business right now. Jim, you know how many people right now listening to this are like, eh? Like right this second, your audience, which, I'm one of, but because of the certain thing I just said, or who the hell knows, because of the mentality of them looking for excuses, it's a constant game of eating shit with more attention. I'm getting called out on ludicrous shit. Like, you know how it is. I mean, it's just part of the process. Anybody who's listening right now, if you have real ambitions, if you really want to win, the great thing to learn is how to eat shit, AKA get used to people criticizing, understand that people default into cynicism. 90% of people are unhappy and they want to drag you down, and you shouldn't be mad at them. They're not trolls. Everybody who shits on me, I have empathy for, because if they have energy to shit on me, they're in such a bad place for themselves that they want somebody else to be there with them. So I'm not mad at people at Twitter saying I suck or I'm full of shit or daddy put me on. I feel bad for them. I'm excited now. Just gave a great podcast to Jim Rome. I definitely am gonna blast that out to all of you. Babin loved it. We also just made a little reference to what my financial situation was when I left Wine Library. I think for a lot of you, it's something that is left out of the story, and we'll be clarifying that. But with all that fun, that's all very secondary to my favorite moment of every episode. Oh shit, I fucking left my hoodie. I'm sad now. I like that hoodie. The hoodie that I was a twin with you. Anyway, no dwelling about the hoodie, because, the beanie, because what's amazing about Airport Gary is when you're the greatest superhero on earth, you've always got a backup beanie. Yeah, Batman's got multiple things in that belt. Airport Gary, the greatest superhero on earth, he is not set back by the beanie being left in the hotel room because you slept with it because it was cold in the bed. He has a backup. And he is now almost officially ready to dominate. Domination time.